Welcome to New Life Live, the premier place to receive free advice from Christian psychologists and counselors for the mental, emotional, relational, and spiritual challenges you face. Since 1988, we've offered compassionate responses that combine God's truth with proven psychological principles to guide you toward healing. Our phone lines are open. Call us now at 1-800-229-3000.
Hey everyone, how are you? Thanks for tuning in to New Life Live. I'm your host, Brian Perez. We're going to be in the studio for 2 hours today to help you go through whatever it is that you're going through. Guilt, shame, regret, trauma, so much that we can talk about here. 1-800-229-3000 is our number. And if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, thank you so much for watching. We've got the number posted right there on your screen so that you can call in too. And answering your questions today, we've got licensed marriage and family therapist Marc Cameron. How you doing, Mark?
I'm doing great.
Wonderful. And licensed professional clinical counselor Becky Brown is here too. She's also the president of New Life Ministries. What is on your mind to start us off, Becky?
You know, I'm so glad to be here with both of you, and I have all kinds of things on my mind, but let's just focus on one right now. The biggest miracle is surrender. Have you ever been stuck in life where you feel like you're in a loop of a challenge? It could be a relationship, it could be a job-related thing, it could be that you've tried everything possible to relieve yourself of the frustration, of the stuck place, but you might not have tried surrender. In Joshua 1:9, Joshua says, "This is my command, be strong." Actually, God's telling Joshua, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." When we consider surrender, a lot of times the resistance is because we think we know better. We think that we have one more plan to try before we give up. We have one more possibility that maybe if I do this, then it will be better. And that's not bad. You know, you don't want to give up trying, but to quote Steve Arterburn, sometimes trying harder is just trying harder. It's not better. So I think about this passage, and Joshua's facing this unknown. And many times in our stuck places, we are facing unknowns. We have a vision in our head about how it should go or what we expect. And we all know the difference between expectation and reality is misery. And a lot of us live in that misery because we keep thinking things are going to be different. And what our biggest miracle that we need to be praying for is the ability to surrender. And here's a couple things to remember as you consider surrendering. Whatever the problem is, whatever the struggle is that you have, God is with you wherever you go. He doesn't take a vacation. You're not going to be left alone. God is with you wherever you go. Also, God knows better than me or you. You know, a lot of times that's the challenge I have in surrender, is that I think I have a better way or I have an idea of what should happen. And then God reminds me, no, you need to inquire of me. Ask me about what is better. And then when we don't surrender, we put ourselves in the place of God. We say, oh, well, I know better than God, and so I'll just keep doing what I'm doing, expecting different results. And then the third thing is God's purpose is bigger. Many times in those desperate situations, we don't even go to God. We still try to figure out, or we keep doing the same thing. I know a lot of times in addiction and recovery, we talk about until you get to the bottom, you won't look up. And what I want to encourage you is listen to what God says to Joshua when Joshua is facing this new adventure. Be strong, be courageous, don't be discouraged, for I'm going with you. You're not going to be alone. And then you can see how God's going to work, and it is the biggest miracle to surrender.
I would agree, because like you said, we just get to the point where we just, no, let me try this other thing. I haven't tried that yet. But, you know, if your house was burning, you would immediately call the fire department, right? You wouldn't just say, well, let me just throw a little bit of water on it. Here's my coffee mug. I'm just going to fill it up with water and throw. And it's just going to get worse. So you need to surrender, as Becky Brown just said. We'll get to your calls in just a moment. 1-800-229-3000.
So many times we get calls about loss and grief, and it's one of life's most profound challenges. It affects our mind, our body, and our spirit in deep and lasting ways. Grief is something that we will all experience, but we experience it differently. I want to invite you to our upcoming webinar, Coping with Loss, a grief webinar. Our webinar is 90 minutes. We are going to have Laura Mange-McDonald present, and whether you're grieving the death of a loved one or walking through another kind of loss, this session offers biblical insight, emotional support, and practical tools to help you move forward.
The Coping with Loss Grief webinar is Thursday evening, November 13th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go online to newlife.com. Discover God's plan for healing and take the next step towards peace, hope, and wholeness. 1-800-639-5433. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Would you believe Christmas is only 45 days away? And we've got the solution. You can visit the online store at newlife.com for gifts for everyone on your list. Devotionals, including the new one by Dr. Henry Cloud, who was on our program just last week talking about his new devotional. It's there in the newlife.com store. You'll find Bibles, books by authors you love, and so much more. Let's go to the phones now. 1-800-229-3000 is our number, and we're going to begin in Jasper County, Missouri, with Star, who's listening to us on the New Life app. Hi there, Star. Thank you for downloading the app, and thanks for calling 1-800-229-3000.
Hi, thank you for having me on.
Of course.
That's my first time I've ever been on.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, well, what prompted your call?
Well, I saw the topic, trauma, fear, and regret. And I know that I am dealing with that right now. And so just kind of trying to step out of my comfort zone and maybe get a different perspective,
Okay.
if possible.
Yeah, for sure.
So a longtime friend of mine asked me to do something, and, you know, because of trauma and fear from my past, you know, I had to say no. That wasn't something that I could do right now for the betterment of myself or my daughter. And, you know, they had their own opinions, and, you know, they decided to move on with somebody else. And I have had a really hard time accepting it. You know, I feel like I overly communicated my feelings. I know I can work on that. But I'm just sitting here with this regret, and, you know, I've been praying about it for a while now, and I don't feel like God is telling me to completely be done with this person, but at the same time, everyone around me is telling me that's what I should be doing, but at the same time, I don't want to care about it anymore. I don't want to be sitting here and just stewing on it, or, you know, living with the regret, or thinking about all the trauma that made me have that decision, to make that decision, and to, you know, lose somebody that I care about, that, you know, they didn't accept my, you know.
Was this a romantic partner, Star?
Yeah.
Okay, and
at one
are
point.
you comfortable sharing what the person wanted you to do that you didn't want to do?
Well, they wanted me to move 4 hours away, and I built a pretty good support system here. I'm 7 years clean by the grace of God, and
Congratulations.
my daughter, I bought my own house. You know, I got my daughter back. I'm trying to live for God here, and they're just freshly coming out of prison, and they've been out for a few years now, and they're living right and doing their own thing 4 hours away, and they wanted me to move down there, just to pick up and everything and move, and that's not, I don't know, not something that I could do.
Yeah.
It's not sitting right with me. I did it with my daughter's father at one point, and it ended badly, and I just, all the trauma from that, and, you know, and then trying to express that to him without, you know.
Well, it sounds like you're being really prudent. I mean, you were learning from a mistake. You said you did this in the past before. It didn't work out very well. Now you're clean. 7 years, you've got a really good support system, your priorities, your daughter. It sounds like you made actually a really good decision in terms of when you take into account all of that. What's the biggest thing? I mean, I hear you talking about regret. Is it loneliness? Is that what it is? I mean, I hear you say, God's not telling me to be done with this person, but
well,
are you actually
so
hearing
one of my
that?
first,
Did you also say that
Yeah.
this person moved on and is with someone else?
yeah, he started dating somebody else after I told him that I couldn't do that, and someone where he's at, which somewhat understandable, but I don't know. So whenever I first got clean, I fasted and I prayed and I asked God, because I didn't want to be in another toxic relationship and put my daughter through that or put myself through that again, and so I fasted and I prayed and I asked God what He wanted, and I was seeking His face, and He showed me His face, and He told me to wait for 4 years for Justin, is what I felt like. And I'd prayed about it, and because of all of his stuff in the back and from back in the day and from our past, I was like, that can't be right. I mean, I know the person that he was, and I don't know if that's the person he's going to be whenever he gets out, but the person that he was is not somebody who's faithful and wants a relationship or wants marriage and all those things. And so
Well, Star, a lot of times when we set a boundary, we don't always feel good, but I think this was a really good boundary for you. This was a test of your new life, and the fact that he's already moved on is confirmation that you made a really good choice. Now, that doesn't make our feelings go away, and I don't know how long you were in relationship with him, but you're going to have that loss. So there's a grieving that needs to take place. That that's not what happened. Isn't what you expected, but it was a really good thing. And I know that's hard to say when you're hurting and you're thinking, what just happened? And the fact that he would move on so quickly. But in this new stage of your life where you're making good decisions that are going to have good outcomes, sometimes your no doesn't feel good, but ultimately it is for the good.
yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard you say that you're experiencing some regret, but I think when you find someone new, if you hold on to these values and you look for somebody who has these values that you're looking for, I think in the end, you will breathe a sigh of relief and say, man, that was really hard. It was lonely for a while, but I'm so glad that I waited, because you're feeling the pain of regret right now, but I wonder what regret you might be feeling had you moved there and lost all your support system, and then things not turned out in the way that you had hoped because you went against all your values. I mean, I hear a lot of the time people wanting to believe that God is telling them to stick with a person, but there's only 3 people in the Bible who God put together: Adam and Eve, and they were the only man and woman on the earth. Mary and Joseph, only because Mary was pregnant and Joseph was going to leave, and Hosea and Gomer, and that was because God wanted him to prophesy, and Gomer was a prostitute and was going to leave him. Those are the only 3 people in the world, and yet so many of us think, oh, God's calling me to this one person. And I generally don't believe that that's true. I think God says, pick who you want to be with. And then he asks us then, yes, to be faithful and to follow through and to grow with that person. But I wouldn't think that God is telling you to be with a person who's going against all your values, going against all his values, and is with someone else right now. And as Becky's saying, I know it's painful to look to that and want to idealize that situation, but that's probably an area of your growth. And I think if you stick with it and stick with your values, you'll find someone who shares them. Yeah. I'm proud of you for doing that. It was a really hard decision. You did fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, way to go, Star.
The regret is more of, what if, like you were saying, should I have just let go of my fears? I mean, is it because I was disobedient back then? I didn't wait. I mean, I tried other relationships in between. And then whenever he came back, he was sitting next to me, and it just felt like peace. It felt like home. Like, I don't know. And it's really hard to just let that go and just like,
it's
act like it
painful,
doesn't.
Star. But what do your friends say about this? Like, what your support people that are around you?
The normal things, like it's God's protection, it's rejection, wounding. It's, you just got to love yourself more. It'll happen whenever you least expect it. And I'm like, I've prayed and prayed and prayed about this forever. And the love that I have for him is still there. And I don't know.
But
I've been
here's
seeking out therapy on the side now.
Well,
because of it, trying to get a different
that's very good
perspective.
But the thing is, Star, because he's moved on, this is betrayal as well. Like, you didn't expect him to just say, okay, well, if you're not going to move, then we're done, did you? You thought maybe he would, right, exactly. I hear your heartbreak. I hear your heartbreak.
Yeah, and while there could be some truth when people give platitudes, like what you're saying, it doesn't help in the moment. You need someone just to be able to sit with you in the grief of the detachment, say, I'm so sorry, this was painful. You really had a lot of expectation, hope, and you love this person. It's just got to be so hard to let them go. So I'm glad that you're seeking therapy. But yeah, one thing that I would work on in therapy is that longing that you have, and I'm guessing that there's a historical wound, a root to that longing that you have. So that might be a topic to explore. I think Trust would be a really good book.
Trust?
I
Okay.
do too.
Yeah. All right. We'll send you that for calling in, Star. Stay on the phone, and we'll get you a copy from the newlife.com store. Speaking of betrayal wounds and everything, Becky, how was the not the webinar, the intensive workshop.
Intensive, yeah.
Thank you. So sorry.
Listen, Restore was a powerful weekend, and as I hear Star's tears, I know that there were so many women that joined us in Washington, D.C. that were having to deal with their own pain and their own, just the betrayal trauma. And we heard that there were some really difficult stories, but on Sunday they were equipped, ready to go back into their lives with some tools and support and a fresh view of, what the future could look like. Just like we were just talking to Star, just because we make a good decision doesn't always feel good. And so a lot of these women that come to Restore, initially they think, well, he's the one that betrayed. Why do I have to go get help? But what they're recognizing is I need to get my own healing so that whether he gets his help or not, I'm ready to do what I'm going to do in my future and move on and not be stuck in the past or stuck in that wound. So it was a great weekend.
Great to hear. And you can find out more about our next Restore Intensive at our website, newlife.com. 1-800-229-3000 is the number to call in today to speak with Becky Brown and Marc Cameron. And we're going to go to Mark in New York, listening on. No, it's his first time calling in. Thank you so much. First time listener. Hi there, Mark. How'd you find out about us?
Oh.
Hi, Mark. How'd you find out about New Life Live?
I just actually signed up for the Every Man's Battle Intensive about a week ago. So I'm, at the point in my life where finally taking ownership, trying to, make changes.
Yeah. And for
Did
anyone,
you go this weekend, Mark?
Problems. I'm scheduled to go next month.
Okay.
And so throughout this whole process, one of the things I've been doing is, trying to sign up for therapy. So I met with a new therapist through like a work program that's covered under my company, and kind of gave him the lowdown of where I'm at and how severe my addiction has been. And he recommended running into going straight to the ER and getting like a psych eval to get medication. And it freaks me out a bit. I just something that I don't really know much about, and I just wanted to get like someone else's opinion. Is that common for people who struggle with this? Is it recommended? I just have no idea.
It depends on what state of mind you're in right now, Mark. I mean, how are you feeling? How are you? What's going on?
I mean, I'm 8 days clean from looking at pornography online, and a part of my changed this time to try and really quit it is I've given up drugs and alcohol, which were huge factors in a lot of my slip-ups and decisions to act out. I feel fine now, but when I've explained to the therapist about some of the things I've gone through, he really was like, you can't do this alone, you need it. But right now I feel empowered.
Well, you can hear the music, Mark. We're going to take a break. Don't hang up. But
okay.
The question that I want to know too is, are you quitting drugs and alcohol simultaneously while giving up porn? Like, is this all happening simultaneously?
Yep.
What was that, Mark?
Yes, all at once.
Okay.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, stay on the phone.
Brian.
We'll come back to you in just a moment. And everyone else who calls in today to New Life Live, we're going to be in the studio for 2 hours at 1-800-229-3000, and we can't help to get help for you.
I went to Every Man's Battle in 2012. My sexual integrity was not what it should have been. I sought out affairs, whether physical or emotional. Until I came to Every Man's Battle, I didn't understand that would never fill that void.
Every day, men struggle with sexual integrity. Impure thoughts, strip clubs, affairs, pornography.
The shame and guilt was overwhelming.
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle Intensive.
You will discover what the true root of your pain is, and you will discover how to overcome.
You don't have to struggle any longer. Get help in Washington, D.C., December 5th through the 7th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to register or to find out more. 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Enter the code NLL for a discount.
Every Man's Battle saved my life.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL. Club New Life changes lives.
You guys came along into my life in 2022. That was a really, really difficult year of my life.
You can help New Life Ministries provide Christ-centered hope and counseling resources to thousands of people by joining Club New Life today.
I began to really process a lot of things that I've needed to for a long time, and y'all were a very big part of that.
When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, you'll make a difference in the lives of individuals and families with godly counsel and connection to help.
I came out of it having never experienced anything like that, and y'all were there.
Join today and help continue the message of hope to a troubled world.
I knew I had to keep going, and I joined Club New Life, and y'all have been the resource that has now been a light for my wife and I.
Go to newlife.com/CNL, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places.
Keep doing what you do because it makes a difference.
newlife.com/CNL. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Let's go back to Mark, who called 1-800-229-3000. You still with us, Mark?
Yes.
Excellent. Thanks for holding through the break. So we had some conversation here in the studio while we were on the break. And what would you guys follow up with Mark now?
I'll let you go, Mark.
Okay,
Marc
so
Cameron.
so Becky asked you a question. I think you confirmed here, Mark, that you're also trying to quit drugs and alcohol at the same time. We're just a little bit curious as to why your therapist did send you to the ER, because usually going to the ER is immediate help, would be like a safety issue. Was there something that you may have communicated to the therapist that this therapist thought you were in need of immediate help?
No, I mean, I told him that I was in a good headspace, that I was, ready to make a change. I think he just kind of heard some of the, lengths I went in seeking things out over the past couple months. I'm not sure if he maybe mistook that as like I had done it in the past, 24 hours or so. Basically, I kind of gave him a full run through of the past 2 years, but he just said that some of the severity of what I was doing maybe warranted like getting medication to help fight the urges.
Yeah, well, typically you'd probably just make an appointment with a psychiatrist, not really need to go to the ER. Now, it's kind of hard for me to comment on that because I wasn't in that session. I didn't hear everything that you disclosed, and neither do we have all the time for that. But with the EAP, what I will say is with EAP, employee assistance programs, which it sounds like what you're going through, they yes, they're seeing you and they're helping you, but they also work for the employer. The whole goal for EAP is to get you back to work as soon as possible. So typically you don't get to form a long-lasting relationship with them because you're limited with the amount of sessions that you can get. So I think you probably do need to get in with someone on a longer-term basis. And in the medical field, it's okay to go get a second opinion from someone too. So, that would be my recommendation here. But if that person says the same thing, then maybe ask about the rationale for it, and then maybe follow through and just see, what the ER says. But we can put you in touch with a counselor on our end too. And even in a group, it sounds like when you're going through addiction, there's 12-step programs, and those have been going for decades now. And the reason why is because they work. And so we have our own New Life Recovery program too, which is a 12-step program. And getting into a group really is essential for recovery.
Yeah, Becky.
I agree, and I want to, Mark, we'll get you connected with the Life Recovery group, and we're going to send you a Life Recovery Bible because it'll start you on this journey. One of the things that we know about addiction is that it has become a solution to something that is at the core of whatever has wounded you. And, once you get into the work, you'll understand that better. But you need people around you. It's a core belief of us here at New Life. And we're going to get you into a group. And we'll give you a suggestion for a counselor that can be long-term. And we will be praying as you prepare to go to Every Man's Battle. I know that it'll be an incredible experience for you.
What do you think, Mark?
Thank you so much. It means everything.
Thanks for calling.
It sounds great.
Yeah, thanks for calling in. So Every Man's Battle, let's explain what that is for anyone who's new to our program and maybe doesn't know. It's a weekend intensive that helps men who are dealing with sexual integrity issues, whether it's addiction to pornography or addiction to affairs and things of that nature. Somebody might be thinking, well, how can you be addicted to cheating on your spouse? I mean, that makes no sense to me. Becky, what would you say?
Well, rather than thinking about it from an addiction level, it's not having sexual integrity. If you're married, you are betrothed, to use an old word. You are promised to your spouse, period, end of sentence. And what we know is that so many men struggle with sexual integrity, and then they betray their spouse. They cause all kinds of problems. But what I just said to Mark is so true. There's something behind them using sex in all of its forms, porn, affairs, all the things, to deal with whatever is inside of them that is unhealed. And that's one of the things that we talk about at Every Man's Battle. We figure out what is causing this behavior and get you on a path where you're connected to people. The shame doesn't govern your life, and you can find freedom.
So the next Every Man's Battle, where Mark is going to be, is in Washington, D.C., the weekend of December 5th. You can sign up right now. Go to newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And I believe there's still an early bird discount. So if you sign up right now for the next few weeks, that discount will apply. So go to newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We also have several resources available in the newlife.com store for anyone who's dealing with this sort of thing. And we have books and articles, and there's also a podcast. You guys know about the podcast that we do called Every Man's Battle. It's with our friend JJ West, and Mark, you've been on with JJ the past 3 weeks or so here on New Life Live when he's joined us. And
I have, and we also recorded a podcast, two-part podcast that I'm going to be on that's going to air at the end of January.
Oh, nice.
On the Every Man's Battle podcast.
Yeah, so we've got
next season.
Next season, that's right. We've got past episodes available there when you go to newlife.com. All right, it is time for us to take a break, so we're going to do that because we have to. 1-800-229-3000 is the number to call us today with whatever it is you're struggling with, whether it's an addiction or whether you're just at a point in life where you're ready to give up or you're just not sure what to do next. Well, we can put you on the right path when you call in today. We're going to be in the studio for 2 hours, the rest of this hour and all of next. So call in to 1-800-229-3000. Tell your friends to call in too. Maybe you're okay, but you know someone. Maybe you saw someone at church this past weekend, and you thought, they really need to call in to New Life Live. So send them a text, tell them to call in. We'll be right here for them.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 Steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 Steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Do you need help for life's hard situations?
My husband recently said he wanted a divorce.
I'm confused on what I should do.
I have an eating disorder.
New Life Live answers your questions on relationships, grief, addiction, trauma, anxiety, and much more, all from a biblical perspective with our panel of professional counselors and psychologists.
I learn a lot from your program.
You help so many people.
I appreciate your ministry.
Whether you listen or watch, there are so many ways to connect with us to ask our panel of counselors a question. Call us Monday through Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific at 1-800-229-3000 to ask your question on New Life Live. Or go to newlife.com/radio for other ways to get your question answered.
I'm trying to find help.
I just want to know how to set boundaries.
If it's a sin, what am I supposed to do?
Need a therapist or a coach, a resource, or an intensive? Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Grief is one of life's most profound challenges, and we all experience it at some point. Whether you're grieving the death of a loved one or walking through another kind of loss, you will benefit from our faith-based webinar that's happening this Thursday, November 13th at 7 p.m. Central Time. It's titled Coping with Loss, a Grief Webinar. It's hosted by Becky Brown, who's on the program with us today, and presented by our good friend, licensed professional counselor Laura Mangan McDonald. And you can still join us to discover God's plan for healing, not just survival, and take the next step toward peace, hope, and wholeness. Get signed up at newlife.com or by calling 1-800-NEW-LIFE. It's less than $20 per person. So register today. And even if you can't join us this Thursday, register anyway, because after the webinar is done, we'll send you a link that's good for a few days so that maybe you can watch it this weekend. But we really do hope you can be there with us this Thursday because you can take part in the Q&A as well. 1-800-229-3000 is our number. And now we're going to talk to Samantha in Kearney, Nebraska, who was referred to us by a friend. Well, what a great friend you have. Samantha, thanks for calling in today.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. I'm just really struggling. I've been married to my college sweetheart. I met him when I was 17 for 37 years. And 15 years ago, I found out he was using porn. We got therapy, and I thought we'd work through that. Then about 7 years ago, after my dad died and while I was going through cancer treatment, I found him using porn again. We didn't get therapy at that time. 3 years ago, I discovered that he was having what I thought was just an emotional affair. And it was just, friends texting friends with little smoochy emojis. And we went through a whole year of marriage therapy with that one. And I'm now in my vacation home with him and his girl that I thought who, by the way, was a friend of mine from church for 20 years. She was the one that was reportedly the emotional affair. It turns out the whole time, in fact, the last 7.5 years, which is almost the whole time I've been fighting cancer, he's been having a sexual affair with her off and on. He's been using porn. He's been doing, video sex with her. And this is a man who's been a leader in our church. I'm a leader in our church. We have 2 grown children at home now in our primary residence. Thank God they were not here when this all blew up. But his mistress, my former friend, and I cut off friendship with her 3 years ago when there was, quote, an emotional affair. She sent me a naked picture of her and then sent me a video or an audio message after that saying that this was all my fault, that I hadn't given him what he needed, and that I had not been the wife he should have had. I think she was just trying to blow up the marriage. Here's my question. I'm going home now. He's going to stay behind in our vacation home. I'm going home. I was going to just try really hard to not mention this to the kids. He's been having eye problems out here in our vacation home, and so it was a perfect excuse that he would stay behind for a few more weeks with getting some treatment. Now my daughter is asking, well, is Dad going to be home for Thanksgiving? And I said, I don't think so. And she said, well, will we come and spend it with him? And I said, no, we're not going to have a family trip for Thanksgiving. She said, okay. And then she said, Mom, this is a silly question, but are you and Dad okay? Well, he threw himself into Celebrate Recovery. He threw himself into Sex Anonymous, Sexaholics Anonymous. He's been toting his Bible and doing the right stuff since then, and I've just been shattered. This whole thing has been a lie. It's wrecking my physical. I've been into the ER once since this happened 2 weeks ago. I can't get my heart rate down. They're worried about me getting cancer because of this again, that it would come back after this amazing amount of pressure that I'm just under now. I've got one good friend, good solid Christian friend. Everybody else, including our pastor, they're just mortified. And the pastor did help, but nobody's calling anymore. Nobody's following up. Right. We're losing anybody that we've told about this. So I'm just feeling alone, and I don't know how to answer my daughter.
Okay. Becky, what would you say?
Well, Samantha, my first question is, how old are your adult kids?
27 and 25. They're living with us temporarily.
Okay. I think it is time to have, you're not going to want to, but this is your story to share. And you can be as brief, when your daughter says, are you and Dad going to be okay? The answer probably right now would be no, but you don't know the future. So you can say right now, no. You don't have to solve anything right now. I just want to say, Samantha, I'm so sorry that you've been going through all of this for so long. And your body was telling you all kinds of things, not just the cancer, but you just had a sense that you knew something was wrong, something was off. And it doesn't matter how much somebody puts off a performance of, I'm a leader in the church and I'm above all this. So your heart is broken and you're going to need some time and you're going to need some help. And you're going to need safety. You're going to need some space where this isn't, right in front of your face right now. But we can get you connected with a group of women who you can begin to connect with that have walked this journey, that know what this is, what this is like. Yeah. But I also think, do you have a therapist that's just for you?
I do, and ironically, I am a therapist.
That's even one better, Samantha.
One of the things that I do, but I do have a therapist, but I would like to find a Christian therapist who has so much experience with betrayal and infidelity. I mean, right now, it feels impossible that he can be healed. It just feels impossible that I can be healed. And I don't know how much time I get left with this cancer diagnosis that is in remission. It's been in remission almost 10 years. This was my big year. And I was going to celebrate the heck out of it. And now I feel like I'm just alone for however many years I have left. And I just Samantha, feel like I have no hope.
We will we'll get you connected with someone who can help you with this. This is something we have to deal with all the time. We're also going to send you a copy of Dr. Sherry Dunham-Keffer's book, Intimate Deception, Healing the Wounds of Sexual Betrayal. And in there, Sherry goes in depth to how it affects us, body, soul, mind, emotions, all of those things. You are not alone, and you've just begun, and and it's hard when you want to plan it all out, but God's got you, and we'll help you get the tools that you need. Mark?
Yeah. Wow, Samantha, you have gone through multiple betrayals, and there's not really been any recovery and healing on his part at all. And as you know, as a therapist, best of intentions, but pastors are often not equipped to understand fully betrayal trauma. And so, I mean, many people might disagree with me here, and I totally get that. I think if your kids are 5 or 7, you tell them that you're fighting. There's problems, in the marriage. When they're 15 and 17, you might share, okay, dad has betrayed me. And when they're 25 and 27, they're adults, and they may need to know the full extent. I mean, you don't have to give all the graphic, gory details, but he needs to live with the reality of what this situation, what his decisions are, and then the kids get to choose. Like, gosh, this is our father. How does this impact our relationship with him? And that's some of the tension that somebody has to deal with. Do I choose my addiction? Do I keep on doing going down this path and keeping on saying I'm sorry and, like you said, touting the Bible, but not really having a transformation? And if you want to do that, that affects your relationships with others. I mean, we heal through confession when everything gets brought into the light. And so this is ultimately, this is your story to tell. So I wouldn't feel like you got to keep on dealing with it, hiding it all away, know. If you want to tell them, I think it's okay. I don't think it's inappropriate in that sense. And I think ultimately you got to decide what you're going to be willing to put up with. He has betrayed you, and he has abandoned you multiple times. So now you got to decide, am I going to be okay to do this again one more time?
Yeah.
And if you're going to give another opportunity, I would say he really needs to, demonstrate that, I would say him demonstrating that he is committed would be actually telling your kids what he's done.
And Samantha, you can say he needs to go to every man's battle. We're going to do it in Washington, D.C. in a couple of weeks, and this is more for your future. Like your safety and your healing is the first priority right now. And so you can't get too much into what he needs to do, but I would say he needs to do that.
For sure.
And we'll get you connected with some help.
Yeah, Every Man's Battle happening the weekend of December 5th in Washington, D.C. There's also the next Restore Healing After Betrayal Intensive. You really need to sign up for this, Samantha. It's the weekend of March 6th in Dallas, Texas. And as Becky said, we're going to send you a copy of our friend Dr. Sherry Denham-Keffer's book, Intimate Deception, from the newlife.com store. So stay on hold and we'll send that to you. And everyone waiting on hold will get to you as well next when we come back on New Life Live. 1-800-229-3000.
We've been married 33 years. We attended the Intimacy and Marriage Workshop. Even though we've read books or attended a few other marriage weekends, this was certainly different and a lot more intensive than initially that we thought.
When you come to Intimacy and Marriage, you're going to be immersed into a 3-day process.
Was not really sure exactly what to expect, but the idea of learning to really understand intimacy was intriguing. We had been in the same patterns of struggle over and over again.
If you've thought, I don't think we can ever change, we're just in this rut and we can't get out, the Intimacy and Marriage Workshop can help you get out of the rut.
The Intimacy and Marriage Weekend is February 13th to the 15th in Orange County, California. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the code NLL for a discount. 1-800-639-5433.
I would highly recommend it.
For over 35 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addiction, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
I found a counselor through New Life Ministries, and it's just been outstanding.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His
is.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first steps toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door for a better tomorrow.
To get someone that's competent, that's good at what they do, it's been like day and night compared to what I've had before.
Call 1-800-639-5433. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Your generosity changes lives. You've heard all the calls we've had today here on New Life Live, and there's several more to come. And you can call in too to 1-800-229-3000. But right now, New Life Ministries is in the middle of a $475,000 matching gift challenge. Becky Brown, president of New Life, tell us about it.
You know, we're so grateful for the people who invest in ministry, especially life-changing ministry. And just like you just said, Brian, generosity does change lives. Sometimes it's the lives that are the recipient of those gifts, but many times more, it is those of you who choose to give. God works through your gifts to help change the lives of so many people. We just had a call earlier today where somebody who just happened to hear the show, like, think about that. Somebody who was needing hope, needing that encouragement, needing help, and they turned on New Life Live and they were able to get it. And your giving will make a difference in the lives of so many people. And as we're going through so much in this world, everybody would, agree with me to say there's a lot going on. But the truth is that God can help us. And He has worked through New Life for so many years, and we're going to continue to work. Give today. It'll make a difference in your life, and it'll make a difference in the lives that you touch. Thank you in advance for being part of this matching gift challenge.
Yep, and you can give online at newlife.com/match, or you can call 1-800-NEW-LIFE, or text the word match to 28950. Thank you so much for whatever you can do. 1-800-229-3000 is the number to call in to the program today to speak with Becky and Mark. And this ministry also has international reach, as proven by Jason and Melissa. Yes, 2 for the price of 1. Calling in from Montreal, Canada. They listen on Sirius XM channel 131. Hi, folks.
Yes, hello.
Hi. How can we help you today?
Yes, my cousin's on the phone. She can't really speak. She's gonna speak. She's gonna speak if she has something to add in. Okay.
Okay.
The both of us, well, I've lived through this situation. I'm going to explain to you. I've lived through it and I've experienced it. And she's going through it right now. The reason why she can't speak is because my sister is there, and this is who we're calling in about.
Okay.
She is very neglectful to the children and could be like, I wouldn't say like physical abuse, but like emotional abuse and like making them do like exercises for like a really, really long time. And if they don't do it properly, she increases the time that they do it because they're not doing it correctly. And after a while, your muscles are sore. You're not as strong as when you first started. They like doing, one of them likes doing martial arts, and she used to take them into like doing martial arts and stuff like that. But now when she does it at home herself, what she sees the teachers teach, but she doesn't do it the right way. And because she doesn't do it the right way, the children aren't actually learning what she's trying to teach them. Okay. And she'll force them for hours and hours and hours to do it. Also, she doesn't really contribute to like food in the house. She sleeps on the couch for like, it's been like almost a year now. She's been sleeping on the couch, hogging the TV. No one else could really watch the TV. It's just a lot. And my cousin's going to move soon.
Okay, so Jason, this person that you're talking about is your sister?
Yeah, it's my sister.
Okay, and and her cousin Melissa lives with her?
Yeah. She moved in with her because the apartment she was living in, they had to re-renovate it or something like that. So she had to move.
And where's the children's father?
Moving soon. My cousin's going to be moving soon. She's got, like, there's a lot of children in the house, and her 2 children are there, too. And she's not really helping out. They went on vacation for a couple of weeks, and she doesn't really do anything in the house.
Right, Jason.
It puts a lot of stress on the other people.
Right, Jason, we get the picture. This is a dire situation, and what I'm understanding you to ask is, what can you do? And I'm curious about what has been done to this point. Like, have you ever reported her?
Nothing has been done yet.
Right now, we just spoke to her about it, but there's no changes.
Okay.
Where's the
Melissa,
father?
Yeah, go ahead.
The first step that we're going to try to take is a family intervention, where we're going to invite a lot of people who have seen and can witness the things that they've seen.
Jason,
because when we try to tell her,
Jason,
quick question for you.
We get it. Where's the father involved? Because the father typically has custody too. Where's the father?
Only one of the fathers.
I'm sorry.
So there's several fathers. There's more than one. But do they have any involvement with the children at all?
Just one, the little girl, but not the one for the boy. The one for the boy, he has passed away.
Okay.
Her son's father has passed away.
Yeah.
But the daughter is still around, and they're in shared custody.
Yeah, so what you're talking about here, it is child abuse, I believe, what you're saying here, because it's...
Emotionally, right.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cruel and unusual punishment in the sense of, like, you're going to have to do all of these exercises and you tire out and now you're not doing it right. You're going to do it more. So I think if you've spoken with her and now she recognizes, or maybe she doesn't recognize, but you're saying to her that this is abusive, I think the next step is to call for help, get legal help involved.
And I was going to ask, in Canada, do you have a social services like that helps with things like this?
Well, you see, yes, there's DYP involved, but she used to be in DYP. They used to be in her life before. At one point, she had to go to court because the father of the daughter was trying to get full custody.
Okay.
And social workers was involved, and she was doing a lot better when social workers was involved.
Right. So, Jason, this is what you have to do. You can do the intervention that you're talking about, but if you don't have a resolution or a next step, all you're doing is pointing out what's wrong without offering a solution. I would make the call to the services that you spoke to before. If it helped to have a social worker involved before, then it's going to help again. We're at a different place. And Melissa, I'm understanding that you're in the middle, like you live with her. Is that right?
Yeah, she lives with me.
Yeah.
And my
she lives. Okay. This isn't good for anybody. And so and so the support that you'll get from a social worker or from a counselor that can help you and her, ultimately we gotta protect these kids. Your kids witnessing this, Melissa, is just as bad as what they're going through. And so if she has to leave and the kids stay, that's an option. But if you do an intervention, there has to be a solution. Because you're doing this is what we're going to do.
She doesn't treat your kids like this, does she, Melissa?
No, she tries to, but I would, rectify it and tell her this is not the way we do things in this house. But I can't really protect the other two because that is her children.
But Melissa, it is your house, and Melissa, it is your house, and you can tell her you're not going to do that here. You can protect those kids.
Yeah, you can protect them, and you can call the police if this is happening. Yes. I think the more calls that you make.
I wasn't trying to go to. I was trying to see like an option before that. Before I got to that.
You will be perceived as responsible if you just allow what you believe abuse to happen, and you say, well, I can't speak into it because they're not my kids. You will be likely perceived as responsible.
That's right. That's right. And it's hard, but it's what we say all the time. If you see something, say something.
Exactly.
Those children depend on you as the right thinking adult in that household to help them.
Yeah.
Do it today, Melissa. We'll be praying for this situation. I know it's difficult. I'm glad you guys called.
Yes.
and do the right thing.
Yeah, for sure. And if everybody watching and listening can pray for Melissa in this situation, man, that is crazy. But just for God to give her the courage to do it. Okay, we're going to be in the studio for another hour. 1-800-229-3000.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.